Set parameters. Can always add in the name later. And boom, let's get into it. All right, greetings. Where do I make the connection between McDonald's and quality schools? I don't know if you heard recently, but in Chicago, they're pulling out a lot of McDonald's and a number of locations in the greater Chicago area. And why is that? And what does quality schools have anything to do with this? Well, I'll explain. This is Freedom Phil. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. And always turn up the video speed. And why do I say that? Because you'll be watching all the videos at 1.75, including mine. By the way, always sub horn. Appreciate anybody shows up. I appreciate anybody hits like. But just record this right now. I'm watching this news, this interview, and they're like, yeah, McDonald's is planning to pull out all these Chicago McDonald's. Why? You would think that being a McDonald's, all that populous, would be great for business. So why are they pulling them out? A lot of reasons. You got homeless people, junkies, causing problems. That's normal. You got teenagers acting a fool. That's normal. And it's gotten to the point where that normal is now why they have a door where if you're not over a certain age, you're not allowed to walk in there. And you ask yourself, why is this? Why is this? Well, it's for a similar reason why most people that actually have money and have their act together, they would prefer to send their kids to a good school in a good community. You know what a good community, what that's really a quiet code word for? It's kind of, I don't want to say it's racist, but it is kind of classist. They're admitting that they're buying in this community because the people that have money for these houses generally have better lives and better children. Why is that? Well, maybe they have a two-parent family. I don't care, straight, gay, whatever type of family you have. But that two-parent family is able to offer more structure and guidance for their children. Now, what do you want to bet that the kids that are mobbing out at a McDonald's, at a Waffle House, at a Church's Chicken, they're burning down a Wendy's? What do you want to bet? Most of those little kids, they come from single-parent homes, generally women. And how many of those single-parent homes actually happen to have children that, just kind of fuck shit individuals? I'm just saying. Now, if you were a thinking individual and you cared about your children, would you want your kids hanging out with kids that are likely causing problems or with other kids from a well-structured family? And if you think, oh, that's racist. Well, black people move out of the bad communities all the time. White people, when they make it, they don't live around white trash. Latinos, the same thing. And Asians and Jewish people, it's always been better. And there's a neighbor guy. Big ass truck. But what I'm pointing out about this is that it's like society tells you every once in a while that, your eyes aren't lying to you. Yes, they're mobbing because they can mob and they can get away with it. There's no structure or order in their lives. And because of that, and they say, well, where are the fathers? Well, I'm sorry. As I have to point out many a times, we've made a system where we basically cast fathers for the most part out of the society, unless they're useful. They want masculinity as a light switch. Oh, I need you to be masculine now. Okay, be masculine. Oh, I don't like that now. Now back to nagging. Click the light switch off. No, you've kicked a lot of the times the fathers out, or you've subsidized people who have just decided to sport fuck and then create a baby. And then the products of that, and here's the problem. Women, you can get away with acting as crazy as you friggin' want. Because, I saw this video of this nut job Asian feminist chick, portly, by the way. And she was losing her damn mind. Like, don't call the hospital, call the exorcist level of screaming. Craziness. Now, you can get away with that as a chick. But what do you think happens when a guy doesn't have a level of self-control? Young men. What happens, do you think, when guys go out and do, what do they call it among rednecks? Hold my beer. Well, sooner or later, the guys get busted. And, having a good structure and family actually prevents a lot of those problems. Because if you have some respect for your family, you're like, no, I don't want to disappoint my parents. So I'm not going to do this jackass thing. Now, People that want to move out of those communities, and they always say, we want to live in a place with good schools. I'm here to tell you, it's not the schools that are the problem. Yeah, there are some issues, but it's not like those schools don't get funding. It's the fucking kids in them. It's the bastard children. Oh, you can't say that. I'm just telling you the God's honest truth about it. The bastard kids that act like idiots, act a fool, then they're distracting the teacher that's supposed to be teaching your kid, or your kids to fit in, they end up acting like idiots too. So if you have a whole community of people that are actually more, have some self-respect. And I kind of look back, and I go back to the 50s and 40s, 50s, the Sinatra age. And you realize that back in the day, yes, people had some self-respect. And prior to welfare, food stamps and all that, if you failed, you actually might have had to go before your local community and ask for help. And it was shameful. But that shame caused people to have standards and grit. And there's a lot of things that people just didn't do. You just didn't act a fool all the time. Now, there's no consequences for acting a fool. At least that's what people think. Because, it's like the saying, most people can't conceptualize 20 years in prison, but everybody understands an ass whooping. And Lord knows if they can't understand that prison and they ain't got their asses whooped, it's only a matter of time till a lot of these kids fuck around and find out. Now, what do you think happens to the communities that already have that problem? Communities that have, massive homeless, crapping on the streets, drug problem, kids acting a fool, crimes like you'll see people like mobbing into stores. What is it, less than $900 or is it $1,000? As long as they steal under that amount. What do you think your chances of your kid getting a quality education in a community like that is when you've got that developed culture? And I don't care whether it's redneck, black, whatever. Because I've seen hillbillies that were just as somebody with a hood IQ. It is funny how the same people that vote for all this, we got to help all these other people. Like I watched this video the other day, and this guy was talking about how you got to understand as a man, when you get with a chick, you're paying for her first family, You're paying for her first family. Her first family is the person she voted to take your money away to give away to. Well, it's not her fault. Give her Section 8. Give her food. You don't understand. Convicts are so hot. What does it say about your city and your society that basic businesses like a fast food restaurant are pulling out? The grocery stores are taking out self-checkout because they're just like, we're getting robbed too often. What does that say about your community? See, back in the day, they called it white flight. I got a different name for it. Pulling the Jeffersons. Anybody and everybody was like, screw this, we're leaving. We're going to the burbs. We're moving on up. We're leaving this problem here, this crummy place here, and we're moving to somewhere better. Because then, if we have kids, they might have a future. Because we give a shit about our children. Not only that, we want to live in a better community with less problems. But when the basic businesses have to put up, like a camera and a door, like you have more protective glass than banks. That says a lot about your city, your society, or whatever. Like, you can't blame this on COVID anymore. And by the way, how many of y'all remember the Waffle House fights? How many of y'all remember, a Church's Chicken fight? Somebody wiling out in a McDonald's. It's not even a new thing. We have gotten used to that. A Wendy's thing getting burned down. This is not new. But when the companies, much like Walgreens, they just say, screw it, the riots, we've lost too much, we're moving out. When the grocery stores move out, then they try to tell you, well, this is just structural racism. No, they're sick and tired of getting robbed. People are sick and tired of having to call up somebody and say, okay, we need to go open up the case because other people are stealing. And what do you want to bet? The majority of the time, when those situations are happening, single parent household. At some point, like 70+% of the criminals that are in prison, single parent household. It's almost like what worked for thousands of years actually matters. that people actually need a mother and a father and a stable home. That you have a paid off house. You have some future for your children. I am not saying that you're wrong to move out of those cities. But don't sit there and bullshit me that when you move out of that city, that the statement isn't the same. You don't want your kids around someone else's fucking rat bastard children. You don't want your kids to be fuck ups. So you take your money and spend it and put your money where your mouth is, and you move to somewhere that's fucking better. And that's what's funny about it. You can vote whatever way you want, but your actions are the only words that will ever matter. Your actions. And your actions say you'd rather spend how many more hundreds of thousands of dollars to not live around single parents. So your kids won't go to school with those people. Now, that's not racist. But it is kind of fucked up. It is prejudice to some degree. It's just like admitting that what you voted for doesn't work. But yeah, I just find it funny because every time you see a chain of businesses close in a big city, they try to hide the reason, just like they try to hide the crime statistics. And like I've said before, this isn't just a black thing. This is a white, black, everyone thing. But in the same way, it's the same solution. Everybody pulls the Jeffersons when they're looking out for their best interests. But all that toxic empathy shit where people pretend to care about everybody else's problems. Oh, I care so much about this with everybody else's money. Oh, God, let me take more of my husband's money and give it away to some situation that if we just didn't subsidize it, it wouldn't be there. I'm just saying. This problem doesn't have to be this way, but it's going to keep on being this way as long as we allow emotional fucking morons to vote with other people's money. As long as we keep on subsidizing, people on Section 8, people that are fake and crazy, if you can fake crazy and effectively retire at 18, got a buddy who did that, took acid, thought he was God. It was hilarious. Can you prove? You're like, you can't be God. Can you prove I'm not? As long as we keep on building this society, we're going to keep on watching it slowly crumble downhill. And you can try to sit there and tell me that you're empathetic, but if you're moving out of the community, if you're moving out of that community, that proves to me that you don't actually approve of it, because your actions will always speak louder than your words. Your actions will speak louder than your vote. Your vote might affect you and everyone else around you, but your actions are your only true speech, what you truly believe. Anyhow,